Why, hello there YouTube, and welcome back to 25 Days of Christmas. So, day 20 now, and for this one, again, I'm not doing another review today. No, I'm going to do another top 10, and this one is the top 10 Scrooge portrayals, or Scrooge performances. So this is a top 10 on, portrayals of Ebenezer Scrooge, who, we all know from the classic Charles Dickens tale, A Christmas Carol. So here are my top 10 Scrooges that I've got ranked. I managed to bring it down to 10 actors, 10 performances. But before I get underway, I just want to give out some honourable mentions. Some that didn't quite make the 10, but they deserve to be mentioned honourably. And they are Scrooge McDuck, Mickey's Christmas Carol, Tim Curry, Christmas Carol. I had no idea he was Scrooge as well. It was an animated made-for-video film. And Reginald Owen. Okay, so now that's done, let's get to my top 10. Now, these are all my personal opinion, so you don't have to agree with them. If you have your own top 10, let me know down in the comments below. So here we go. Top 10 Scrooge portrayals. So at number 10 is Kelsey Grammer, Christmas Carol, the musical, 2004. Kelsey Grammer plays Ebenezer Scrooge, and he does it quite well. Not a tall, skinny, crotchety man, but still a grumpy old man. But musicals, I'm not really into musicals, but he's okay as Scrooge in this, what I'm assuming is a made-for-TV musical movie, because it just doesn't have that, cinematic quality feel to it. Next, at number 9 is Ross Kemp, A Christmas Carol. So this is a dark take on the tale, and is also a modern version. Now, I've always been interested in seeing a modern take on the story of Christmas Carol, and in this one, this made-for-TV one-off movie that aired on ITV on Christmas 2000, Ross Kemp plays not Ebenezer Scrooge, he plays Eddie Scrooge. Of course, Eddie, I guess, is like a more modern name, because I guess he was called Ebenezer now. So yeah, he's called Eddie Scrooge, and in this he's a loan shark. A loan shark which, again, doesn't care about anyone if they can't, pay up their loans. He takes their stuff away, and that all on Christmas Eve, till he's visited by free spirits, and he changes his ways, and each day he gets to relive Christmas Eve. So he gets groundhogged in a way, but after visiting every spirit, he starts Christmas Eve again, and then he tries to change his ways, but by the end of the third ghost, he changes his ways and becomes a better man. Yeah, that's one of my dad's favourite takes as well, because loves Ross Kemp. I'm called Random Ross. Where do you think he came up? Where do you think he came up with that name, eh? Next, at number 8 is Jim Carrey, A Christmas Carol, 2009. So yeah, Disney's version of A Christmas Carol, the third third adaptation of A Christmas Carol by Disney, that being Muppets Christmas Carol, being Mickey's Christmas Carol, Muppet Christmas Carol, and then this one. This has good CGI animation, and Jim Carrey plays Scrooge brilliantly, with him also playing Jacob Marley, the spirit of Christmas past and present. Not the future though, because the future didn't speak, but he's great as Scrooge, and it was, even though it was predictable and I knew what was going to happen, he still did an alright job as Scrooge. So I like that one as well. Number 7 is Guy Pearce, A Christmas Carol, the miniseries, 2019. So the most recent take on A Christmas Carol, which is on this list, and Guy Pearce played Scrooge in a darker take of the classic tale. So dark that it was always on it was at 9 o'clock at night, the 3-part miniseries were on. It wasn't for kids, this one, and I actually like that. I actually like that they made it more horror themed as well. It had more of a horror feel to it, and definitely darker. And Guy Pearce playing Scrooge, he was great. And he wasn't a crotchety old man, but he was a middle-aged man, a bit like Ross Kemp's Scrooge, but still a great, performance, and it played over 3 nights as well. And not only was Guy Pearce great as Scrooge, I also love the supporting cast as all the other characters. Andy Serkis as the Ghost of Christmas Present, and Stephen Graham as Jacob Marley. It was all a great dark reimagining of it. So yes, Christmas Carol 2019. Number 6 is Christopher Plummer, the man who invented Christmas. Now, this isn't exactly a Christmas Carol, but it is about how Charles Dickens wrote the tale A Christmas Carol. Now, there was a lot of fiction mixed in there, you know, fact and fiction mixed together, but as Scrooge was writing the story A Christmas Carol and creating the character of Ebenezer Scrooge, he envisioned him, and in those envisionings he was played by Christopher Plummer, and Christopher Plummer actually was good as Scrooge. I actually liked his performance in that film, and, you know, I don't know how he's not played Scrooge in like an actual Christmas Carol story, but I enjoyed the limited screen time he got as Scrooge in The Man Who Invented Christmas, you know. Also, to my knowing, Christopher Plummer is the oldest actor to play Scrooge, to my knowing. There might be older actors out there, but he played Scrooge in 2017 in this film, and he was about 88 at that time. Yeah. And Christopher Plummer's still going as an actor now, in his 90s. Well, he's 91. He's 91 now. You know, December 13th. You know, he's a tough fighter. I mean, he's a tough one. Okay, so now we're into the top 5. So here's where I get to like favourites. At number 5 is Albert Finney, Scrooge, the musical, 1970. So again, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of musicals, but when I was a kid, I saw this one. And it had some good songs in there, and I actually like this one. Scrooge actually lightened up and started to change as he was being visited by these spirits. And Albert Finney, I think, played Scrooge great in this take. I also like the Spirit of Christmas Future in this, how he looked like the Grim Reaper. To me, that's what the Spirit of Christmas Yet to Come should look like. Not like a man in a long robe. Not just a man in a long robe, but like the Grim Reaper himself, pointing with skeleton-like hands. Okay, at number 4 it is Patrick Stewart, A Christmas Carol, 1999. This one was a made-for-TV movie, and Patrick Stewart playing Ebenezer Scrooge. Now, yeah, he was okay playing Scrooge. Of course, to me, he was just like Charles Xavier / Jean-Luc Picard, but he played a grumpy man of Scrooge, a grumpy Scrooge. Not so, he did a good show of Scrooge in this, and it was actually a good take on it. And yeah, Patrick Stewart, he's hard to express emotions because he's such a serious actor, but yeah, I like the take of it he was in. I weren't too keen on the Spirit of Christmas Future though, the way he looked in it. He had a kind of long robe, red, like glowing eyes, and human-like hands pointing. Yeah. Okay, so top 3. Number 3 is George C. Scott, A Christmas Carol, 1984. Now, before, I knew him from The Exorcist 3. I knew him from this take of A Christmas Carol as Ebenezer Scrooge, and he did a great one. I watched this at school. I enjoyed every minute of it, and the quality of picture for its time just looks so good, for 1984, and I like the spirits, and I like the dark turn that the Spirit of Christmas Present makes towards the end of his showing, because that's what actually happened at the end of the Spirit of Christmas Present's run. He got more darker and more aggressive towards Scrooge, showing him, what will happen if he doesn't change his ways before he was left with the next spirit. But yeah, George C. Scott as Scrooge, he was good in it. I really did like his take on the character. Also, it had David Warner as Bob Cratchit, and who else did it have in it? I can't remember now, but I just loved that take on it. Okay, so on to Who Are They? Number 2 is Alistair Sim, Scrooge, 1951. Now this one, I wanted to put it at number 1. I really did. It almost made the number 1 spot, but I had to give my number 1 spot to someone that was just pure childhood. Is one of my favourite takes on it. But before we get to my number 1, my number 2, Alistair Simmer's Scrooge. He was great in this. I prefer the unaltered edition. There's 2 editions of this. There's the 1951 black and white original. Then there's the 2001 colorized version. I don't think it works in color, especially when it's been colorized. You can tell that it's that it's not a good quality of picture. I prefer it black and white. But Alistair Sim, he's just great in it, playing Scrooge, a grumpy old man, but then becoming a nice man towards the end, and I enjoyed it. In fact, in black and white, it's a lot of the set pieces are more convincing in black and white. I don't know why, it just is. And Alistair Sim playing Scrooge, I don't know much about Alistair Sim. I haven't seen a lot of his films. I've seen 2 of his films, and this take on A Christmas Carol, Scrooge, is one of them. And yeah, it's a good take on the tale, and it's usually on around this time of year at Christmas. I don't know what channels or what, but it's usually on somewhere on the TV. Okay, number 1 time. My number 1 pick. Number 1 is Michael Caine, The Muppet Christmas Carol. So yeah, this isn't an actual, a true adaptation of A Christmas Carol. It's like an adaptation retold by the Muppets, and all the Muppets do a great job playing their roles in it, like Kermit the Frog as Bob Cratchit and Gonzo as Charles Dickens, or the narrator, and the spirits as well look good, especially the Spirit of Christmas Past. The present is a recreation of the Spirit of Christmas Present in the novelization, but is Muppetized. He's made into a Muppet made for that movie. And I do like the Spirit of Christmas, future and stuff. But Charles Dickens as Scrooge, not Charles Dickens, sorry, Michael Caine as Scrooge. My God, he gives it his all. And he's even professional as well. How he acts around puppetry, how he acknowledges Kermit the Frog as an actual person, and yeah, I just I loved Michael Caine playing Scrooge, and how serious he was, but then how he became a lovable man at the end, and I liked the transformation he slowly went through in that one. This is also the movie that introduced me to Michael Caine. I'd never known the actor Michael Caine until I watched this movie, and I was a kid back there. I was must have been 6 or 7 years old, and I loved this one. I'd never seen a take on A Christmas Carol other than the one with Mickey Mouse and friends, but yeah, I truly loved this one. Michael Caine as Scrooge. And, even though it's not true to the source material with the Muppets and everything retelling the story, Michael Caine just makes it so much better by playing Scrooge. I'm glad they didn't make like Waldorf or Statler Scrooge. I mean, they made him like the Jacob Marley characters, Harley and Marley, but yeah, Michael Caine playing Scrooge, just a brilliant performance from him and a brilliant take on the character. So there you go. That's my top 10 Scrooge portrayals. Have what is your top 10? Do you agree with my list? Let me know down in the comments below. How would you rank these Scrooge actors? Or, is there anyone I missed? Anyone I didn't mention? Let me know all of it. So there you go. That's it for this video. So tomorrow I'll probably be doing a review. In fact, I'll be doing a double review for tomorrow's video, but you'll see then. So yeah, to see us out now, we have Stephen Carroll. Take it away. And until next time, I bid you all a goodbye, friends, goodbye. Right then, well, we've had a lot of Scrooges there. Love Christmas Carol, yeah. And I've explained it all before. Okay, so Christmas joke time. So here's one for you. It's going to be a shit one, but it's all I got for today. Right. What did the bloke get for stealing an advent calendar? What happened to the bloke who stole a Christmas advent calendar? He got 25 days. There, that's it. Like I said, it's not going to be a brilliant one. Alright, ta-ra.